Ladies and gentlemen, PSG 4. PSG 4. 4. Real Madrid nil. And the only thing I really have to say, or ask rather, I need to know what Mbappe is thinking. I need to know what Mbappe was thinking that entire game. Because if you had told Kylian Mbappe that a year ago when he made his decision to leave PSG and join the reigning Champions League winners in Real Madrid, if you told him that a year later, the two sides would meet up and one team would be treble winners and the other would be trophyless, and the treble winners would win 4-0, and PSG would be those treble winners, I think he would have left. I think he honestly would have left. He probably would have been like, yeah, next joke. That's funny. What really happened? It's crazy. This PSG team is special, guys. This PSG team is special. And I said it against Bayern, and they were a little less convincing against Bayern. Today, they have been ridiculous. And even still, I think they could have won by more. But as I said in the last video, it's going to take something really, really special to knock this team off their perch. I'm not saying to beat them. Chelsea are going to play them in the final. I actually think Chelsea will give them a much better game than Real Madrid did today, just simply because of how well drilled Chelsea are under Maresca. But in terms of knocking this PSG team off their perch, like stopping their run, not just a one-off game, but really figuring them out, it's going to take something extremely special, because this team can just beat you in so many different ways. You look at the way they scored goals today. Obviously, right, the first two goals that they score are Real Madrid errors defensively. Not even defensively, on the ball. Raul Asencio for the first goal. Has there been a player, yesterday, for example, I called Nico Jackson the biggest loser of the Club World Cup, because across this tournament, he's gone from Chelsea's starting striker to battling it out with Delap, to then suspended for 3 games, allowing Delap to take his place, to then Joao Pedro coming in, and then Joao Pedro scoring 2 goals to effectively bring down Nico Jackson to third choice striker. I said he was the biggest loser of this entire tournament. I actually think Raul Asencio might be the biggest loser of this entire tournament, because my God, 3 games that he's played. The first game concedes a penalty to Al Hilal. The second game gets sent off against Pachuca to send Real Madrid down to 10 men for most of the game. Misses the next few games. Alonso drops him. Makes his return to the team today in the place of the suspended Huijsen. And within 10 minutes, commits one of the dumbest mistakes you will see at this level. I don't know what he's doing, right? PSG go down the line. Doué brilliantly works himself a yard of space, puts the ball into the box. Asensio intercepts it. And you just think, Asensio, good interception, get the ball going, Real Madrid attack. This guy's dilly-dallying on the ball, pretending like no one is within him. What, he thinks he can just make himself a sandwich and build it and eat it. And in that time, PSG's not going to press him. We're talking about the best pressing team in world football right now. And Asensio's acting like he got a million years on the ball. He gets caught out. Courtois fouls Dembele. Doesn't matter because the follow-up falls down to Ruiz to make it 1-0. 1-0 PSG. Shortly after, like 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, again, the ball's swinging across the back line. Lands at Rudiger's feet. Rudiger, first control, is already a little shambolic. It's already a little loose. Who's on his tail? Ousmane Dembele yet again. Sniffs danger. The best pressing forward in Europe at the moment. Wins it up high, sends through, PSG 2-0. Just like that, within 12-13 minutes, PSG 2-0. Real Madrid barely even got going. They barely even got going this game. And if I'm even looking at the setup, guys, when I watch PSG, I look at them play and I can very clearly tell you what the setup is. I can clearly tell you what the shape of the team is, where all the players, their habits, where they like occupying space, where they like dropping deep, where they're going to play for the most part. When I've watched Real Madrid at times in this tournament, I've recognized that as well too. I think the first game against Al Hilal was rough. The second game, you didn't really get to take much from it because of the red card early on. But the games that followed, the next 3 games, against Salzburg, against Juve, and then the third game against Dortmund, when Alonso fully basically deployed his 3 at the back, I think Real Madrid played the best football we've seen in years. That system really got the best out of most of his players. Obviously, you're looking at Huijsen's suspension and Trent's red card as 2 big losses to this team. First and foremost, because I don't think Huijsen loses the ball in the position Rudiger or Asensio loses it in today. And I think Trent is just... When Trent plays out there, you have so much quality and you're allowed to play Fede in midfield. And the fact that both of them are out, it means you have to go back to a 4 at the back. So those 2 are a big reason why I'm actually not going to be too harsh on Alonso today. I think he was forced to play a system and forced to play players in certain positions that he wouldn't have if he had his full team ready. However, I'm sorry, guys, we need to address something. There's an elephant in the room right now that's existed for a whole year. And I think at this point now, it just needs to be highlighted. These guys. These 2 right here. This is the system that they lined up in, but really it wasn't, right? You're seeing Gonzalo Garcia on the right, Mbappe kind of just play in this area, Vinicius play in this area as well too. This says 4-3-1-2. I don't think they played a 4-3-1-2 today. I'm watching this front three. I'm watching this entire team, to be honest, and it's just a mess. Players are just popping up in random positions. And I think ultimately we have to talk about these two. Can they actually play together? At a high level, that is. Can they actually be deployed together and both of them play at their absolute best? I don't think so. And I think we have a full year now of evidence to suggest that they can. Because at the start of the season, when this guy kind of fell off, when he was trying to get acclimated into the team, he was playing really well. Then when he went out due to injury, he picked up his form. And then when he came back, he was severely out of form, and this guy was playing really, really well. So this guy played his best football when he was either injured or out of form. Not out of form, what's the right word? He suffered so that he could be in his best form. Vice versa, he plays at his best when he's not. Is there a world where these two can play together and both perform at their optimal best? I'm going to say no. And the reason I'm going to say no is because, guys, they just want to occupy the same space. They really take up the same positions. This kid is so brilliant, and he's been so good this tournament because when he's at his best, and he wasn't today because he's being shoehorned out wide, he's happy to just sit in the middle. He's happy to just camp in the box. He's happy to just read crosses and anticipate and finish off chances. He doesn't want to get the ball. He doesn't want to drift out wide and start attacks. These two occupy the same positions on the pitch. And I'm sorry, I don't think it can fly anymore. You need balance to any football team. The ultimate proof is the side that they just played today. And I'm sorry, if I had to choose between both of them, it is easily Kylian Mbappe. Easily. Now, Mbappe is not a perfect player either. He's a very, very good player. On his day, maybe the best in the world. But he's not perfect. And too many times with Kylian Mbappe, especially today, right? I feel like it's like hero ball. He just gets the ball, looks up, runs, beats two players, but then ends up just here. And it's like, okay, yeah, that was really nice. But how did that help your team? You basically just kind of like shoehorned yourself into a corner, or that your last touch was too heavy, Donnarumma picks up the ball. Sometimes it's too much about him. But the way this guy is playing, I mean, it's going on a year now where nothing the guy does is working out. The touches are too heavy, the dribbles aren't coming off, the passes are being misplaced, the crosses are overhit, his shots aren't on target. And I think the reason for it is because Vinicius Jr. is a really emotional player. He wears his heart on his sleeve when he plays. And I think it leaves too much discrepancy between his best performances and his worst. So either Vinicius is everything he's trying is coming off, and he's playing with such an intensity and such a fervor and really going at you over 90 minutes so many times that he looks like the best player in the world, or when it's not working out, his game doesn't change whatsoever. I think he needs a little bit of maturity to his game because he still plays like a kid at times. And at the moment, Vinicius Jr., right, we're going to talk about Rodrigo, who doesn't even see the pitch today, which if you want a more damning indictment on his situation, you can't get bigger than today. Look, he's the one being forced out of Real Madrid because he doesn't suit the balance of the front three. But we've seen now, even without Rodrigo, it's not like the balance of the front three looks any better. I'm just going to say it, man. And I feel for this kid right here because he's played an amazing tournament as a center forward in a 2. And I would have liked to see him today maintain his position, either alongside Vinicius again up front or alongside Kylian Mbappe. But I'm sorry, him being forced out of position, and I know in a game of like status, right? When you're looking at the statuses of each of these Real Madrid players, he falls below the pecking order when it comes to names. I get that. He's always going to be the one that falls short. But also, I would have liked to see his amazing form this tournament be rewarded and see him retain his place. And one of these guys have to play next to him. Because I'm sorry, we have enough evidence for me that these two don't work. But if we just talk about the game in totality, man, I'm not really going to be too harsh on Real Madrid today. Again, because of the suspensions and injuries that caused them to change their team, but also because I just think they played the best team in the world. I think they just played the best team in the world. This PSG team is everything that Real Madrid are not. They're better coached, naturally, because Alonso has been in the job all of 5 minutes, but they're better coached, they're better drilled, they're better in build-up, they're better in possession, they're better off the ball, they're better pressing, their shape is better, they understand each other's roles, they understand each other's movements, they understand where they need to be on the pitch at all times, they rotate in possession and out of possession extremely well. They're just a much better team. Like, much better. They looked amazing against Bayern. Bayern are a better team than Real Madrid right now. But this side, bro, and the fact that Dembele has missed the entirety of it, anybody doubting how good Dembele is and how important he is to this team because they've still been winning games this tournament, I mean, this is the ultimate proof. His first start of the tournament, and the guy was flat out ridiculous. Is there a better pressing center forward or a better pressing forward period than Ousmane Dembele? I don't think so. I don't think this PSG team operates the same without him. He just gives them such a different dimension. And then the quality on top of that he possesses. What a ridiculous player. The Ballon d'Or winner, in my opinion, and rightfully so. What a player, man. What a player. Ruiz, ridiculous today. Hakimi, ridiculous today. I think Hakimi has a shout for player of the tournament, to be honest with you. Have we seen many fullback seasons ever better than the Hakimi season that he's given us? I'm not too sure about that. I think he's given us a little bit of everything. And then if we look at Real Madrid, look, Alonso has done an admirable job this tournament. And I think he's shown a lot of seeds of what this Real Madrid team could go on to be in this tournament. I think Real Madrid this season will be very, very good. I think they will be. But also, he's only human, bro. There's only so much he can do, especially with the squad that he has. And it's a good squad. I get it. I was saying at halftime. I'm saying PSG are a much better team, but it's not due to a lack of quality. Real Madrid have some of the best players in the world. Like, again, if we go back to this guy is arguably the best player in the world for some people. He's one of them. He's one of them. He's one of them. He's, for me, the best in his position. And this is one of the best young players in the world. It's a good team. It's a strong team. And Trent's not even playing. But I'm sorry, I think the balance of the side and the way that it's been built over the last 2-3 seasons has been an absolute mess. An absolute mess. And it only got worse, in my opinion, when Mbappe came in. Not because Mbappe is not a brilliant player, but because the balance of the side didn't really have a position just waiting for Mbappe to come in. They had to shift things around to accommodate for Kylian Mbappe. And I'm sorry, I still don't know what the best side looks like when everyone is fit. Obviously, he has to play because he's amazing, but I think big players have to drop out to accommodate for him. And when everyone is fit, guys, I mean, look, if we talk about the center backs, right? Huijsen is going to play. And we saw Eder Militao come back today, but who knows what kind of form that he's in, what kind of shape he's in. But this guy has had a terrible tournament. And Rodrigo, my goodness, another guy who's regressed a lot. They need another center back, in my opinion, especially if they're going to play three at the back. I love Tchouameni's role that he's kind of playing as that central center back that steps out on the ball. But I think it's going to have to be Tchouameni, Dean Huijsen, and someone else on our right center back. Because I don't know if I trust either of these guys. As squad players, perhaps. Maybe that right center back is Carvajal. Who knows? Maybe Carvajal can operate as a right center back. Trent plays here. Who knows? But I think they need another center back, to be honest with you. I think they desperately need one. As for the forward line, that guess is as good as anyone's, man. I'm not too sure. But I think Alonso has a lot of big decisions to be made. Rodrigo is going to be the guy that has to be sacrificed. Of course. He's the easiest one to drop. But this front two right here, I continue to have more questions than answers. Who would you guys drop out of these two? Vinicius or Mbappe? I think Mbappe's got to stay. I think flat out Mbappe is just a better player than Vinicius. But also, I think he's been better than Vinicius now for a few months. I think Vini now for a few months has really, really been poor. But at the same time, I actually think Vini looked decent next to Garcia. So this is where we're going to really see what Alonso is made of. Because the easy decision is just continuing to play these two and hoping they can work it out because they're the best players. But if it has to be about the balance of the team, what suits the team the best? I'm sorry, I don't want to put too much pressure on this kid yet because, bro, he's had a good few games. That's not to say he's the finished article. I know he isn't. But on the basis of performances, the best attack has him in it. And I think it has Mbappe in it as well too. But yeah, man, I think you saw all of the best of PSG today. Obviously, they went on to score another 2 goals. Ruiz scoring 1 more, and then Goncalo Ramos coming out and scoring. A beautiful tribute again to his international teammate, Diogo Jota. But PSG today could have scored 5 or 6, I think. And I'm not sure how the passing stats ended up looking like, but at one point in the first half, Real Madrid completed 95 passes. PSG completed 384. If that doesn't tell you the difference between both sides, I don't know what will, right? 68% possession to 32. 5 big chances to 0. I asked my chat this, right? And they struggled to answer. Did Real Madrid today create one clear-cut opportunity off good team play? Like a nice move from one side of the pitch to the other, like splitting the defense? Or did they carve out an opportunity through team play once this entire game? And I really struggled to name one time. Whereas PSG just cut through these guys anytime they wanted to. In transition, in possession, off their own mistakes. They could beat them anywhere they wanted to. 681 passes to 306. More than double. That's a problem. That's a problem for a manager like Alonso. Again, I'm not going to blame Alonso today because I think he had his hands tied behind his back today. But if I know Xabi Alonso and the style of manager that he is going to be fuming about this stat right here. At times, my chat were asking, why are Real Madrid not pressing? Why are they so defensive? They weren't defensive. They just couldn't get the ball off PSG. And every time they did, PSG seemed to win it just like that. They couldn't hack them in possession, man. PSG shots, Real Madrid shots. How many of them are outside the box? Look at PSG in comparison. And another thing, is there crosses? Is there a stat for crosses here? Maybe not. Crosses. That's the only statistic that Real Madrid beat PSG in today. 16 crosses to 8. But this is the biggest problem. 1 of 16 successful. But is anybody surprised? All the crosses are going to Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Who the hell are you crossing it to? Look, there's not Benzema on the box anymore waiting. There's not Cristiano waiting. I think, look, Don't take too much out of this game from Real Madrid. I think that's the only thing I would take away from it is that these two can't play with each other. That's the only thing I would take away from it. Because ultimately, this is the best team in the world. Unquestionably for me. This is a team aspiring to become the best, but not there yet. Under Alonso, I think they will be very, very good. But this game was just a clear reminder of these guys being levels and these guys just not being there yet. And I think that's perfectly fine. But wow, PSG. What a statement. What a statement, man. What a team. What a statement. For anybody watching on YouTube, right now I'm streaming on Twitch for the day of the final. Sunday, 6:30 UK time. I think it's 1:30 US time. That's when the coverage is going to start. Come to my Twitch, Lyes Bouzidi, just my name. I'll be streaming a stream for Adidas and Twitch with some of the biggest Twitch creators. A few of them I'm sure you're going to know. It's going to be a good time. PSG versus Chelsea. I hope to see a few of you guys there. But guys, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.